Hello, everybody. This is High Priestess Jamila. Hello, hello. Oh, good. I already got 2 thumbs up. Good sign. That means that we're synchronized. We're in sync with each other. Okay, we are one. How y'all doing this afternoon? um, I can't. Well, I can't necessarily be here that long, but at least an hour so that we can talk about this. Okay. Hello to the 2 people in the chat. Do you have the remote so that we can turn the TV down? I mean, I like Shrek, but I just don't want it in the background. You know where the remote is? Probably not, huh? Oh, darn. Hi, Pooh Bear. I'm doing good. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I'm hanging in there. How you doing? Hey, Princess Cass. Hello. How are y'all today? All right, so all of the children of the narcissistic parents. Um, how was y'all Valentine's Day? Valentine's Day is very interesting for us. Oh, cool. I need to go in because I don't have a washer and a dryer right now, but I wash our clothes out by hand. Okay. If you ever had a mother that washed your clothes out by hand, you better love her and appreciate her. Okay. Because that's not easy to do. Washing clothes out by hand. Okay. So I want to talk about NARC parents, and I think it's important to continue to focus on um, our narcissistic parents because the agents and the people that they program are really not that important. They're important, but only to a certain extent. You know, so I want to talk about why narcissistic parents won't let anybody love you. Why are they like that? What are some of the tactics that they use? Pretty much what they do is they make you a social leper. And it starts with rumors, lies, um, smear campaigns. Those of you that have had a smear campaign, within the family, because you know that the smear campaigns have been within the family for a very long time, which is why everybody has been kind of looking at you like you're crazy. This like for years they've been looking at you and you've been wondering, why are these people looking at me like this? Why are they, why am I so unaccepted? But yet the narcissistic parent is very accepted within the family and wants to be the queen, wants to be the only person that is respected and admired in the family. And yes, sweetie. Okay, baby. Yeah. Oh, that sounds so fun. Valentine's Day for the kids, and you got some the new Frozen movie. That's so nice. That's so nice. I love people that celebrate holidays, and then I love some people that don't celebrate. There's some people that I know that won't celebrate holidays, and I personally think that I think it's kind of silly to, make up false stuff just so that people won't celebrate certain holidays. I think that's ridiculous, personally. But Valentine's Day probably was ruined by the narcs because narcissistic people don't like anybody to be loved besides themselves. So, um, I know you guys are going to be sort of shocked by what I'm going to say today, but I'm going to say it anyway because I'm like the shock queen of YouTube. Um, so many of you that have narcissistic parents, you have found that your personal relationships, friendships, love relationships have been tainted. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say that everything is like just because, okay, you don't have to necessarily have narcissistic parents to have messed up relationships, but this is one of the things that narc parents cause is love to constantly be taken away from you. Even if you get into a situation where you're able to turn a negative into a positive, it's still going to end up negative if somebody has even spoken to a narc parent for 5 minutes or any of their agents, because everybody carries a certain amount of power within them. Have you guys noticed that there's some people, they can say something and everybody will believe them, even if it's a lie, they'll just believe them. So I think that that's a part of the narc power, which is why they don't want to let go of that power. Kind of the same concept with Christians, you know, even though they know that the power that they have is wrong, they still do it just because it's power behind that. So all of y'all are very familiar with the sabotaging of all of your relationships, including with your children. And depending on the narc parent, the smear campaign will probably be very different. It can vary from mild to the devil, okay? To the devil. For example, a narc parent could start possibly spreading rumors about you and maybe your relationship with your children. And I'm speaking from a very, very um, honest place in my heart. I've been suicidal in the past because of it. Because I have learned to say goodbye to people, and I've learned to be abandoned. I've learned that. I've gotten very good at it. You learn to just be this strong person of steel, because every single person that gets close to you or comes into your life, they're going to try to sabotage it. And it's happened over and over again, and it's constantly your fault. And even to them, it's your fault. They'll blame you, and sometimes they'll even turn the other person towards them so that they can come and tell you how unworthy and disgusting and ugly, and you're an outcast and you're awkward. And they'll even have the person do that. I think the first time that happened to me, I think it was supposed to be extremely traumatizing, but it wasn't as traumatizing because I was kind of used to emotional abandonment and just kind of being ignored. I was used to it. I was used to being alone. I was the only child, very isolated. Didn't fit in school because I got dressed up like a rag doll. My narcissistic mother never wanted anybody to like me, ever. And she made all of those efforts. And see, this is how you abuse your child without hitting them. She wasn't a hitter. She wasn't. She didn't hit me. She would just do other things, like send me to school with my hair like completely and totally uncombed. I know that back in my day when I grew up, this was during the 80s, curls were very popular, and I had a head full of hair. My dad wanted to take me to get a curl. She wouldn't let me. She said it's going to make her too fast. I think it's because she knew it would grow my hair. Instead, what she did was she put a relaxer in my hair that literally took all of my hair out. And even to this day, my hair grows very fast, but it breaks off very fast. It does. That's called damage to your follicles. Now, I think that really a good way of remedying that is to get dreadlocks or locks. I don't like calling them dreadlocks. I like to call them locks. But if you preserve the hair with a dreadlock, then your hair will not break off as easily. But so consistently as a child, there was always cracks and jokes being made about me within the family. My mother would encourage people to attack me mentally. She would encourage it. In fact, if she got lucky enough for somebody to hit me, she hit a home run. She did, because I think that narcissistic parents are so cunning that even though many of them will physically abuse you, they would rather not you have bruises, scars, welts. They're very careful to not leave marks on you. And the reason why is because, they want to keep up this perfect appearance. And so the trauma never stops until they're dead. Just to let you guys know that. It never stops. It follows you. If they can't control the person that you're with, if they can't control your relationship, then they're going to do everything within their power to stop you from even obtaining that relationship. In fact, I am a practitioner. And I could sense work being done on me several days and leading up to Valentine's Day. And it's pretty messed up. The reason why. Are y'all ready to know the reason why they won't let anybody love you? It's because they want you to themselves. That's why. Your parents want you to themselves. Some people, it's a sexual thing. Some people, it's not about that. It's about slavery. It's about, oh, well, I need you to, help me clean up the house. How are you going to have your own relationship and normal life with a husband and kids if you have to go and clean up behind your mother or your father? And I've seen narcissistic parents pretend that they're sick and that they can't walk. And they'll pretend, and then as soon as the child of the narc walks out of the house, they stand up and start walking around. They normal. So they use illnesses and they use guilt and they use shame. And many children that had narcissistic parents, they turned out to be narcs. So this is how you end up attracting this narcissistic partner, because they may have had similar experiences, but the only difference is that they became a narcissist because they felt like their parent was powerful, and that was the reason why they were powerful. But nothing is more powerful than love. Nothing. If that was one thing that was missing from the dynamic was love, then they failed. If they didn't give their children love, They failed. There's a lot of children of narcs that can honestly say, my parent never told me that they love me. And because of that, I tell my children I love them all the time. I think that when you become a narc, it is the most horrific thing ever, because you did not break the cycle. You're going to do it to your kids, and your kids are probably going to do it to their kids. But they do want you to themselves for whatever purpose. Some of them, it's Oedipus complex, to where they're very jealous of outsiders. But then again, it's also because they want to use the child. They want to use them. Oh, no, no, no. My child can't get married because I need for them to take me to the grocery store once a week. And I know that that's not going to happen if this person has their own life. What's so sad about it is that most children of narcissists go no contact with them. So they still don't have their slave or their doormat. They don't have that, but they've completely broken and destroyed. This is the reason why you can't date somebody. I mean, it's a possibility. Like every now and then, you will hear a story about a man or a woman that loves the person regardless, doesn't listen to the narc, has discernment. This is not too often. It's not. Most of the time, if your narcissistic parent gets a hold of somebody that you're dealing with, they will do everything, including but not limited to paying them, manipulating them, saying it's okay. She or he is used to this abuse. They're not used to anything else, which is totally untrue. But they'll even turn them onto their side, which is why you see the dynamic all the time of your ex getting close to your mother. I know that for me, when I think about a love relationship, and let me just remind you guys that all of us came here for our love. All of us did. Whether or not you believe in a soulmate, whether or not you believe in a twin flame, or you believe that you were put here to experience love. But so many people have been told, no, you can't have that. The narc parent is going to be they want you to be an exact replica of them. You don't have your own identity. They're going to do everything in their power to bring out whatever negativity that they can in your life. And they don't, I'm sorry guys, I haven't read your chats. I'll get to them. Hey, Orion's daughter. Hey, sweet angel. Hello. So they just want the child to themselves. Some of them, it is like a sexual thing, but they would never carry it out. But for some of them, it is. This is the reason why they interfere in their child's sex life. They do. Every child of a narc has been sexually abused. It doesn't have to be physical sexual abuse, but it's mental. It's like a mental sexual abuse that they do to you. And it's where they'll make you feel awkward about your body. You know what I'm saying? They have something to say about the way you're shaped. Even when you start to notice boys, you'll notice that your narcissistic father will say things like, oh, no, don't no man want to be with you. Nobody wants you. Nobody wants you but me. You know what I'm saying? It's sick, but it's the truth. And somebody needs to start talking about this more often, because it's messing up the balance of the earth. Literally, this is a glitch in the matrix. Narc parents are like a glitch. Hey, Cash Jones. Yeah. They, the narc mother, it's only narcissistic mothers that are jealous of their younger daughters. You would have to be narcissistic because most parents are going to be proud of their children because they came from them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look at what I gave birth to. She's so beautiful or he's so handsome. But, it's totally not like that with a narc parent. In fact, if your narcissistic parent sees themselves as ugly, they want you to believe that you're ugly too, especially if there was some kind of trauma. Maybe your narcissistic mother lost her looks. Maybe she's not as attractive as she used to be. And it's almost like, oh, well, my life is over and so is yours. I know that consistently the programming was I was 30 something years old and I was being told that I was too old for anybody to love me at the age of 30 something. So it's almost like they try to speed you up. They want you to age faster. Okay? And see guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I reverse. Guys, I've seen so many children of narc parents have to reverse, these ugly spells that they put on them. They want you to look ugly. They don't want you to be pretty. They don't want people to tell you that you're pretty. I remember growing up, nobody could tell me that I was pretty. Nobody. Nobody in the family could tell me that I was pretty except for my mother. If she felt like, if there was ever a moment where, I felt bad about myself, it had to come from her. The validation, the comfort had to come from her. Anybody else that told me that I was pretty, she would get extremely upset. She wouldn't show it, but she would say, don't tell her that. My uncle's wife, she's a trip. My uncle's wife, though, I liked her. My uncle that's deceased, not the one that's alive, but my uncle's wife, she would mess with my mother sometimes because she lived at my grandmother's house with us and they couldn't stand when she was living there. But she would come in the room, she would say, oh my God, Shawnee, you look so pretty. And my mother would just go, ugh. She did not like, and you know what? She would deny it to this day. Your narcissistic mother is going to deny what they did. And the reason why, okay, you ever wonder why they never admit when they're wrong? Because for some reason, it's like they don't even remember that they do things. These things seem to be coming from their subconscious. You know what I'm saying? So it's coming from their subconscious and it's affecting you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, why would you say that? But see, even as a child, I was an empath and I knew instinctively not to even argue with my mother when she said that because I knew that all of those compliments had to come from her. It couldn't come from anybody else. In fact, she's got everybody so trained and programmed in the family. Everybody is under her programming. I remember my auntie, I was on the phone with her. This was like 3 years ago. And she said, well, you'll be okay. She was like, you know, you're smart, you're beautiful, and it was like she couldn't even say it. You don't ever tell Shani that she's pretty. And I think that all little girls want to look pretty. They want their hair done. They want their clothes. They want their little shoes. They want to be dressed up. And it was very difficult because I would look in the mirror and I would feel beautiful. Trying to think of who was always telling me that I was pretty. My auntie used to always tell me how pretty I was, and so did my grandmother. But oh, God forbid any of the men in the family say that I'm pretty, it probably would start a big argument. It would start a war. Like, nobody was allowed to compliment me, even if I had on a new outfit. You just weren't allowed to, and it follows you. It does. It follows you because no matter what you do, it's still not good enough. And people are going to tell you that you're not good enough. And you're going to feel like you are good enough. Hopefully, you feel that you're good enough. So many people don't. It's kind of strange when you can see somebody that has their own self-esteem and self-worth. And I've always said that that I was an ugly duckling. When I look back at a lot of the pictures of me as a child, I would kind of go back and forth. It was like I was changing. I don't know why sometimes I would look different. Sometimes I would look just like my father, and then sometimes I would look just like my mother. And it was just so bizarre because when I look back at all of my old pictures, I can tell that there were facial changes. Like my face kept changing. And it would depend. So like for example, you'll even find that when somebody is trying to make you look bad, you'll go look in the mirror and you'll look different. And it's like, well, what is going on? So that's how you see people that, they'll be really, really pretty. And then all of a sudden they'll get with a narcissistic abusive man, and then you see them and you be like, God, what happened to this person? They look so different. And that's energy that's doing that. If somebody continues to say you're ugly, 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 you're ugly. They say it over and over again. No, you're ugly. Well, the mirror says that I'm beautiful. No, you're ugly. You're worthless. Children of narcs are some of the most loving people. These are the people that I enjoy connecting with. Typically, it's with women, though, because men seem to respond to narcissistic mothers. They respond differently than women. So if a man had a narc mother, I can't deal with him because I know automatically that I'm his enemy because his mother has taught him to look at women as his enemy. And that's exactly how he will treat them. This is the reason why men with narc parents never get married. They don't. They just never have, just sort of like the stable home. You'd be surprised at how much better these communities would be without all of that negativity. And if people were actually able to stay together, but I think that as I got older, when I got out of my 20s, because I was really, really, I was just really one of those sweet kind of people. And sometimes I look at my daughters, and and like especially the one that looks just like me, I worry about her constantly because she's so sweet, and I don't want people to take advantage of her or mistreat her. But it even seems like your narcissistic parents, they're attacking your children. There will be all kinds of rumors about your daughters. You ever see one of them old women and they sitting around and it's an old lady and she's sitting around calling all the younger women in the family sluts, and she's bitter and just angry, and you're a slut. It's because of, first of all, it's a disease that can be passed down. So for me, I actually make sure that I protect my children from that energy. Absolutely. I tell my daughters how beautiful they always have told them how beautiful they are. I tell my kids I love them. Uh-oh, guys, sorry about that. Little update tried to pop up. It pops up every day at 5. I need to change the thingy. I always tell my children how much I love them because I know So everything that I didn't get as a child, I give to my children, and I did it purposely. And my narc mother even tried to take that away from me. She tried to take my kids away from me. She tried to take my heart away from me. She tried to take every single thing from me, but they did it covertly. There's many different reasons. Some of y'all are, in fact, an insurance policy. I've told y'all about that. I have told y'all about them insurance policies that for some reason the insurance industry does not allow you to find out about. Very interesting. Maybe it's because the insurance company gets paid as well. They get paid and then you get paid. So if you have a narc parent, what I could sense was a lot of people thinking about suicide. A lot of people thinking, what if I just end it? Please don't do that. Don't do it because it'll give them satisfaction. Seriously. Because you have the opportunity to make a change in your life. You just have to be strong. You do. You have to be strong. Oh, good. You know, Princess Cass is good over here in America. Anybody can go and take an insurance policy out on you, and you don't even have to know about it. You don't even have to sign off on it. That, you know, if your parent took out an insurance policy when you were a kid, they don't even have to. They don't even they just get the money. And y'all know that they're the newest thing is to try to kill people with black magic so that you can get their insurance policy. So they are trying to kill you. I remember going through heartache so bad that I was in a psychosis. I could not think, eat, sleep. All I could do was scream into my pillow. And I was so sad back then. I just remember being so sad because heartbreak, there's a difference between going through a heartbreak and having your mother there to support you versus going through that heartbreak because of your mother and then your mother even attacking you at your weakest moment to try to get you to commit suicide or to try to get you to harm yourself or to sabotage yourself. Can us children of narcs ever experience love? Can we have what we came here for? Y'all know I couldn't wait. Okay. I, I started talking to boys when I was like 11 years old. I couldn't wait. I was ready. Okay. Seriously. I know a lot of people think that that's kind of weird for me to say that, but you know, I'm very transparent with people. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're growing up in a narcissistic home where you're missing love from your parents, you're going to naturally start having sex early. That's why I really tried my damnedest to keep my daughters with me because my mother actually cursed my daughter and said, "Oh, you're going to get pregnant at 14 and you're going to be a whore," is what she told her. Go look at the video. My daughter would not lie on anybody. She's a very righteous person. She wouldn't lie. So thank you for the curse because I love my grandbaby. In fact, I'm going to Facebook chat with them today. But that's what my mother told her. And that's exactly what happened. She's not a whore, but she did have a baby. And I'm not surprised, you know, that kind of trauma. Growing up with my mother, I was trying to get pregnant at the age of 12. How do you think that these unplanned pregnancies happen? That there was a lot of people that blamed me. Well, you can blame me for not taking my daughter to the abortion clinic, of course. Blame me for supporting her because, but, my daughter was in Kansas City. She came home pregnant. She'd have been with me. She would not have gotten pregnant at a young age because my daughter got plenty of love when they were at home with me. And the farther you get away from them, the better. But they'll find somebody close to you to transfer that energy to you. I know that I said previously that being a distance from them doesn't necessarily help because the spirit will follow you, but there does have to be some sort of catalyst. There has to be. It does. Okay. So if it's somebody close, that's why they want to contact the people that they know you're in contact with. So then what you have to do, you can't date somebody obviously that knows them. You have to go and I'm not going to tell you to not try to save those relationships because sometimes you can. Especially if you have children with that person, it would be a good idea for you to try to do that. Or if you love that person, it would be good for you to try to save that relationship. But sometimes it can get so bad because, you know, so meet somebody that has nothing to do with them and never introduce them to your family because everybody is infected in the family by the narc. Everybody's infected. Okay? Seriously. Princess Cass says, I found a new man and she went to court on my ex-husband's behalf to slander me to try to get my kids taken away. Wow. I'm not surprised. And I believe you. Like whatever it is that you said that they did, I totally believe you. Because I had the same exact thing happen to me. All of a sudden, they were trying to take my children. They weren't even trying to take my children. They were trying to get my children put into the system. They thought it would be fun. In fact, my mother told my daughters while they were living there, she said, you're not going home to your mother. You're going to foster care. Foster care. Why would you say that? Hey, you know what? Sometimes I'm gonna tell you, it's good to throw them cards on yourself every morning as soon as you wake up. I'm gonna start training myself to throw the cards because when that moon card come out, you know that sometimes you may even say or do because I am friends with a couple of children of narcs that are trying to get better. And I noticed that they'll say some narcissistic stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say, hey, that's kind of narcissist. They'll say, yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? But it's the truth. Like, it's real weird how sometimes, they'll sort of come into our consciousness. And especially when, you're at the point where you just want to give up. You're just like, you know what? I give up because they're never going to let me live. Never. They're going to always make every single day of your life about suffering and blaming you for the problems that they created. I mean, just looking at the psychology of them and the enablers are so bad. They empower the narc. They empower them based upon their own agenda. I have an agenda for this. Oh, great. Well, then let's do this. When I look at my own mother, I'm like, is that even her? Did somebody kill her? Is this like the invasion of the body snatchers? It's so bizarre because in social media, she said that her family got torn apart because of vanity. So because of vanity, and I guess because I'm good looking, it messed up the family. Nobody's going to validate your looks more than the narc because they're going to let you know that you're beautiful or unique in some kind of way because they're always going to be tripping off of how you look. I've had a couple of people say to me, just don't go on camera because when they look at you, they're going to go crazy. And it's the truth. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Your family was not torn apart because of vanity. Your family was torn apart because of your bitterness, because of your games, because of your psychological games, because of your need to control people, because of your need to, because you decided, I'm never going to have sex again. Everything didn't work out for me. So I'm going to make sure nothing works out for you. So they're like the professional hater. They're your number one hater. And I remember years ago when I first started on YouTube, I made a video. My mother is my biggest hater. What I got to lie about that for? And why are they trying to cover it up? It's the truth. Everything comes from your narc parents. The agents, the bad energy, the thought processes, the disrespect, all of it. You got to understand that they are doing it, period. And Spirit told me that today. Every single time something crazy happens, throw the cards, the moon card. That is your narcissistic mother. If you get the Emperor card in the reverse position, that's your narcissistic parent. It's really sad when two narcs have a child together. Oh my goodness. It literally, like, you know, a lot of people will look at you and they'll say, God dang, this child don't stand a chance. And when you actually do rise above it, they'll look at you like, what? How did you do that? How did you rise above all of this? This is a lot. This is a lot to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And so I want to see everybody who was told that they couldn't be loved to be loved immensely. I want to see everybody that was told that they couldn't have this or have that to have everything that they want. That's what I want to happen, because those people deserve it. Because the reason why you want it is because you were put here for it. That is why you manifested yourself on this physical plane. In fact, you manifested everything about yourself. You manifested the way that you look. You manifested your eye color. You did that because you could have took some of the negative stuff. I'll never forget when I saw that video of that mother. Did y'all see that? I was in a rage because of it. I was so angry of what she was doing to that child. That is abuse. She held her baby up to the camera and told the whole world how ugly her child was. And it didn't surprise me that the baby started throwing up projectile vomiting. Because what they're doing is they're putting negative energy inside of you. Like, that child is going to grow up to think that it's ugly. It heard everything that the mother said. Everything. Even as a baby, our children understand what we say to them. And so, it kind of, but if you're told that you're pretty, then more than likely you're going to be handsome, and you're going to see yourself as handsome, and then other people are going to see you as handsome. But narcs have this thing to where they have to destroy and conquer in order for them to feel good about themselves. So go no contact with your narc mother and her agents. Sad as it is, they have ruined so much potential, but you know what? It's all a part of the process. Now, the problem is that these men that mess up with you because they get a taste of that power, that's what it's about. That's why your men turn against you, because they think they have power over you. That's why they do that. When they realize that you're not taking that from them, then they want to come back. Real talk, they want to come back. Don't ever go back. Seriously. Because you never know how quickly and then you really can't trust them. So don't go back and don't look back. Now, I've actually done work for people to where we've tried to remove the outside influences. It does work, but it's a struggle and it's a process. Because from the time that your narcissistic parent meets your husband or your fiance or his in-laws, They're programming them. I remember my mother's favorite thing to say to people is that I'm stupid and crazy. That's literally that's what she says. I can hear her chanting it. Stupid and crazy. Stupid and crazy. Can't think. Want your mind to be all messed up. Because as long as your mind is messed up, they have more control over you and power over you. And then other people, other people. I know for a fact that the reason why I had so many issues on YouTube is because of my mother. She didn't even hide it. She didn't even hide it. She was very public and very open. She's friends with a woman that told me that she wishes that I was never born. So that's her friend on Facebook that would go and say to her daughter that your mother should have aborted you. And these people are perfectly comfortable with saying that. Now, how many of you mothers out there would even, why would you be cool with somebody that says that to your child? No, you wouldn't. But a narc parent would. That's why they go through these changes. It's confusing. For example, if you love somebody that's mistreating your children, you got to get rid of you. You got to get rid of that person. The narc wants to program you to keep them in your life. Don't you ever let nobody talk to your children like that. Don't you ever let nobody talk about your children in that way, or because that's disgusting. So the people who they sabotaged, those people you don't care about them. Who cares? Even though you may have had feelings for them, it's over. Who cares? But in the future, when you meet somebody, do not tell your narc parent about them. You can't do it. You have to go all off somewhere and just be secret lovers. That's the only thing that you can do. And I'm telling you, that's the only way. I know that a lot of you guys want to test the waters and you want to say, okay, what would happen if I were to introduce this person? They're going to do the same thing. They're gonna do the same thing that every other relationship came from, because your family doesn't even value you. Your mother doesn't value you. There's an old Chinese proverb that basically says that if your mama don't love you, ain't nobody gonna love you. It's like a Chinese proverb. So you just literally have to keep them away. You can't ever trust them with your information. Also, make sure that you get your social security number changed. You know you can do that. Your mother or your parent is always going to have your social security number because they are the ones that went down and applied for the social security number so that they could get the benefits and stuff and try to drive you crazy and get, crazy checks for you or something. I don't know. Change your social security number. It costs money to do it, I think. I think you'd have to contact the Social Security Administration, especially when they're using your credit and they're doing stuff like that, which is something that narc parents do. They will ruin your credit, ruin it, utterly ruin it. Most children of narcs have horrible credit. Most of us do. It's horrible. And it's that way for a reason, because how can you keep up with your bills and pay things on time when they're harassing you at work, when they're sabotaging every job that you have? How you going to have good credit when you're constantly being forced, when you're constantly being destabilized? They're constantly messing you up, constantly, every day. And literally it starts to happen every single day. So, I think that at this point, when it comes to the experiences that I've had with my narcissistic parents, to be honest with you, I don't ever want to speak to either one of them again. Embarrass you, humiliate you, publicly lie on you, plot against you, and then say, oh, I love you though. Sure you do. I'm going to get my phone number changed. So that is the way that it has to be. You have to cut ties with them. Period. You can't do it. They are going to sabotage everything. And then they're going to say, oh, well, you're going to sacrifice me for everybody else. Why are you even making me choose? What is this? Ew, my skin is crawling. I feel weird. What the hell? Why am I being forced to choose a life of loneliness and solitude with you versus going out and traveling and having fun with people that love me? Why would I do that? If the narc knows that you like to travel, they'll say, "Oh, I'm traveling, and I called your mother, and your mother said that you're never going anywhere in life." And it's like, but why? Literally, you have never did anything to them but stood up for yourself. Literally. It's a trip. It's a mind fuck. It is. It really is. It's a total it's funny mirrors. It's weirdness. It's weirdness. I swear to you, it's so bizarre. And you're thinking to yourself, what are you possessed by? What would possess you to do that? It's because they are sick. Many of them want you to themselves, and a lot of them want you in their house. Now I'm gonna tell you something. It was awfully suspicious. I know. Look, how many of y'all children of narcs were raped in your beds at your parents' house? How many of you? I'm wondering. You know when somebody been tampering with you. You know when you've been raped. Everybody does. Nobody just sits there and gets raped. It doesn't matter if a date rape drug was administered, but you know when something is wrong. Sometimes the narc parent is prostituting you and you don't even know it. Could happen. If it's not a physical thing, if you don't have any physical signs, but you feel raped and you got bruises and stuff, and you wake up with weird things that happen, like fluids coming out of you that shouldn't be there, then you know something has happened to you. Period. And it, no, and if you speak out about it, they got to go to work to make everybody think you crazy because they trying to cover it up. Typically, it could be a drug problem or it could be just a money problem. Most narcissistic parents have money problems. They're not good with money at all. At all. And they're usually not good with earning it. So you are their money ticket. You're their meal ticket. And that's it. It's disgusting. Stay away from them. Stop going back to them. Who cares if they are your mother or your father? So what? That's not your mother or your father. That's not that your mother or your father been dead a long time ago. Something done killed their spirit. Okay, and you know what? They want to make you feel like it's gonna happen to you, but you know that it's not, because you know that when you be like you're looking at yourself and you're seeing yourself with your grandchildren and your children, and they're coming to visit you because I don't know, because they know you love them. Okay, so you know, and you can see your future, but they want your future to be like their future. I don't believe that these are normal human beings. In fact, I'm not going to go all off into body snatching and clone centers, but it is definitely a possibility. That's one possibility. Because why do they become so diabolical? It could be demonic possession. Could be. Because what would make you want a person to be alone and sad and unhappy? Why would you wish that? And why would you do everything in your power to make sure that that happens? Because I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how many of y'all felt that energy barreling towards you, but on Valentine's Day, I got pissed because I knew exactly what it was trying to do. I got so angry. And I fought and fought and fought whatever the hell it was, because it was literally messing with me. And you know it's there They want to tell you that you're crazy, but you can feel it. You can tell by what ends up happening. You can tell, especially if your mother was an abortionist. Now, just because somebody had an abortion doesn't mean that they're going to go on to be narcissistic parents. No, that's not true. But if you had a parent that got a lot of abortions, they trying to abort you as an adult. They, for some reason, they think that parenting is a choice. So, and then for some reason, it's very difficult for them to just okay, well, if I were to talk to a narcissistic parent, I would say, why don't you just leave your child alone? Just leave them alone. Why won't you just let them go and live their life? Because and they'll tell you, because I was supposed to abort this child. And then they're mad at your father. They're upset at your father. They're taking it out on you. They want to get back at your father, maybe, but maybe sometimes your father don't really care, because why is the father being so quiet? Why did our fathers allow it? Why didn't they protect us? If it was just so your father could be the real covert narc, and your mother could be the malignant narc. See what I'm saying? So it's almost like, well, this is kind of right up my alley, because I know that my father hated all of the men that I dealt with. It didn't matter if they had jobs. When I thought about it, it didn't matter if they had a job. It didn't matter if they were intelligent. It didn't matter if they was a street person. It didn't matter if they were, a nerd. He just didn't like none of my boy. He didn't like me. He didn't want me to be with nobody. I remember when my father found out that I had Jacob, he said, "You had another baby?" He said, "What?" He said, "Really?" Like, yeah. Like, why'd you do that? I ain't never even heard of that. Who? What's going on? And it's kind of like, well, you don't really want to sit and talk about the issue, but I can tell you that what's missing from that dynamic is any kind of love and compassion. If you ever want to experience love, you have to get away from them, because otherwise you're just going to continue to experience hate. You know what? You have to stand up to it. I know that it's easier to just conform. It's easier to just do what they want you to do. But it's not going to be easy on you when you're sitting there depressed and you feel like, why did I do this to myself? Why did I get myself back into this situation? No matter how bad it gets, I truly found out today that no matter how bad it gets, to have faith. And and spirit always shows me that every single time I'm ready to give up, an angel comes to me every time, and something happens. A miracle happens. So, it sucks that we have to be brought to the brink of death and then back, because that's exactly what they're doing, is bringing you to the brink of giving up. But then it's always something inside of you, or either somebody that is there to tell you, don't give up, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to give up. They want you to do what they want you to do. I know that with my sick narcissistic mother, she wants me to actually beg for her forgiveness. What makes you think that you have the right to do that just because you are supposed to be my mother? Ain't gonna happen. So they don't want to let go of the relationship with you, but they have to. After you lie, try to kill, steal, and then you mess with your child's kids, what do you expect? You expect for somebody to ask you for your forgiveness? So guys, it ain't gonna happen. And you shouldn't do that. They should apologize to you, and it needs to be sincere. Now, do I think that somebody can go from literally trying to kill you, take away your livelihood? Do I think that, you should go from somebody literally trying to destroy your mind, body, and spirit and your children? Do I think that you should go back and forgive them? No. Let that go. Let that go. I know it's hard, but you got to let it go. And you know what? There's friends and stuff out there for you. There's people that went through the same exact thing. I keep telling people, but you know what? Some people actually believe the narc. Some people actually believe the narcissist. They believe that there's only 2 or 3 people that are going to be friends with them in their life. And once it's over, and so you start to walk within that and you believe, well, don't nobody want me. Don't nobody love me. Don't nobody care about me. And a lot of you guys will do that. And especially when you're younger. I feel really especially bad for you younger folks that have narc parents, because even some of us people my age, we didn't grow up with that. It was very subtle. It was there. But the daily attacks, the witchcraft, the black magic, the psychic attacks, the smear campaigns, that's going to come when they going to save that for when you about to become free, because they don't want you to be free. They don't want you to be successful. Stop lying. You never wanted your child to be successful ever. And that's the reality of it. Stop lying. They say that they do. They talk that bull crap, but all of their actions led to the issues that you had. I remember being in medical assistant school. I got kicked out of my mother's house because I started school. She would kick me out for going to school. These were very subtle things that she did, along with other things. But yeah, she threw me out just because I started school. And, it was inevitable that I was going to fail at that because it wasn't something that I really wanted anyway. I did get through the whole thing, got to my externship and quit. So, and I'm still paying the student loan. So now I have student loans that I have to pay. And I've been paying on them for probably about 8 years. Ain't that crazy? Yeah. So they'll claim, narc parents that do that kind of stuff, that do smear campaigns, that send people after you to talk about your kids and talk about you. They'll claim, oh, well, she's not a failure at life because of me. You went online and told people that your daughter was a drug addict and she wasn't. Oh, well, if people thought you were a drug addict, it wasn't my fault. You told people a lie that you never retracted. But it's not your fault. You called up to people's jobs and got them fired, but it's not your fault that they got fired. You embarrassed them and humiliated them, made them feel alone, made them a social leper. But it's not your fault that they're sad and they're lonely. They're lying. And people that placate that, I check them real quick. When it comes to narcissistic parents and you got the enablers, I don't like their enablers. I don't, because you're full of crap. And you know that child is a sacrifice. You know it. And you don't care. You don't care that this person has a will to live. You don't care that this person has things that they want to fulfill in their life. You don't care. You just, I think that's worse. I think that the enablers are worse than the narcissistic parent sometimes. Because the enablers are doing all the dirty work. All of the unnecessary lies and deception and smear campaigns. You almost want to ask them, why? Why did you do that to me? You realize how much easier my life would have been if you wouldn't have done that. And you already been working to the bone for your whole life. I've been working since I was 16 years old, and I've never had a vacation. Not yet. I have yet to go and take a vacation. I have worked consistently outside of being on maternity leave and maybe going through some unemployment periods. I've never been able to sustain a job and then go and take a vacation and save up money because every job was attacked by the narcs every time. And it starts with your parents. If you had a good parent that was not narcissistic, you wouldn't have went through that. I would have so many friends. I would have hundreds, probably hundreds of thousands. I think I already have more subscribers than what they show. I already feel that in my heart that there's more people watching me than what they show, and that I get more views. I feel like it's way too much for YouTube to pay me personally. Okay, so um, and again, you see how they're coming in here. You can't you don't want your people to get off Section 8. What have you done to support the narc's victim of getting off of it by coming in and saying you're on Section 8? That's because you want that person to be on Section 8. That's why they came in here and said that. You want me to be on Section 8 just so you can say I'm on Section 8. Actually, you know, to be honest with you, statistically abusive parents like this and abusive men and abusive people, they're the one kicking you back into a corner and causing the mental illnesses and the problems. Every single job that I have had has been infiltrated by my narcissistic family. Every one of them. I worked for Sprint. If they found out that I worked at an apartment complex, they would find out, they would sabotage. Period. Period. Hold on a second, guys. Yes. So here's the thing. If it's so shameful to be on Section 8, which it isn't, let's talk about it. If it's so shameful to be on Section 8, why are you doing everything in your power to keep people on Section 8? And then also women that are on Section 8, ignore that fool. That person that came in the chat lives with his mama and is probably very codependent. That's a child of a narc. You ladies need that. Y'all needed that Section 8 because you had babies by a man that was told, don't help her with those kids. Let her do it on her own. Period. So many of you ladies were on Section 8 food stamps before you started your business. So was I before you started making enough money to support your family. And the reason why you were on that is because you never got support. You never got support from the father of your children. So stop it. Okay. And here's the thing, they're so childish. Like it takes logic, but they're like little children. They're literally like lost and confused little children. And they say things to you that they think is like, no, hun. Oh, okay. So I'm the scourge of society for being on housing assistance. Okay. What? But do you want me to warm them up? Yeah. Hold on a minute, guys. So it's the failure of the men in your life that did that. So ladies, forgive yourself for ever having to do that. I think it's a false attack anyway. And that's a false thing. I'm sorry. You can't make me feel bad for being on housing assistance. Sorry. And in fact, I believe that that's a jealousy thing. I believe it's a jealousy thing personally, which, you know, it is what it is. Okay. The reason why, don't let them make you feel bad for having to get food stamps and things like that. Because the reason why you had to do those things is because you had to have the extra help and the extra support. Okay, so don't pay no attention to them. Yep, my mom still hangs with my drug addict aunt who threw knives at me. I texted her yesterday. Hope you're okay. Love you, Ma. She replies, I'm good. What about you? Like, really? I just said I love you, shaking my head. I would get I'm sorry. Guys, y'all better than me. I'll never call my mother again, ever. Or most of the people that are back from my hometown, I'll never speak to them again. Ever. Because they're the one that planted this seed for the trolls and the trolling and all that dumb shit. Yeah, y'all dead to me. Just tell them that they're dead to you. Why are you still like what do you think is gonna happen? Do you think it's gonna get better? It's like you don't owe that to your narc parent. You don't owe that to them. Why would you give somebody love that they don't give to you? They've been doing that to you your whole life. You giving them love and respect and them giving you nothing in return. In fact, they'll give you fake love. But when the iron is hot, they're going to strike it. They're going to strike when the iron is hot. And they're going to abandon you when you need them the most. For example, when I broke up with my, let me tell you something, Tasia Moore. Let me tell you something. When I broke up with my ex, who was literally pounding me in my head, after my mother found out that I slept with the fox in the hen house, who I believe she slept with too, or was trying to, she told me to go back to an abuser. Narc parents, they don't care about you or what you do. Why do y'all think that they care? If they cared, they would not be hanging around with people that hate you. They wouldn't form like literally my mother is the president of my hate club, to be honest with you. And hold on, guys. My mother is the president of my hate club. She is. Period. Biggest hater. People think they powerful because she's my mother. It is what it is. You know? Mm-hmm. So keep it up. Okay. I'm headed towards purchasing a home. Nothing they can do to stop me. They can throw bad energy. I can throw it right back. But guys, I will tell you that if you have a narcissistic parent that is a witch, now let's talk about the narcissistic witch mother. You got to do reversals every day. Yeah, you got to do your reversals every day. Every day. You have to keep a candle burning every day. Like if the candle burns out, light it again. I swear to God, because especially when their time starts to run out. So they feel like, they feel like their time is about to run out. They about to die. They got to, tear you down and make sure that, because it's all about self-loathing, the hatred that they feel within themselves. They're going to project it to their kids. No understanding, no love, no compassion. Okay. Yeah, that's what it is, Nova America. They want to outlive the kids. That's another thing. Yes. Sweet Angel, you can use tea lights if you need to, but try to get you some of them 7-day candles. They sell them up there at Dollar Tree. You can get them from the Botanica. You can get the red and the black reversal candles. Just keep sending it back to her every day. I swear to God, that's how you do it. That in fact, Spirit told me, Spirit was like, well, I don't know why you doing all the rest of that. You need to just go ahead and do them reversals every single day and just hit that stuff back. Send all that stuff back. Because the problem is that if it's your mother, oh, there's a doorway. If it's your mother, there's a doorway. Mm-hmm. You can use black salt. You can use jinx removing oil. You can use white salt on it, sea salt. You can use table salt. You can use devil's shoestring. Is really, really good. That devil's shoestring. Um, Mandrake root. Mandrake is spelled Mandrake. And there's another one. Little John. The Little John root. They sell it in the little packets because it's expensive for just a small amount of it. You consecrate that candle, put that in there, wipe it all out. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. That's how I survived. And the longer and the longer and the longer and the longer that it was a waiting period. It was being done every once in a while. Then it was being done once a week. Now it's every day. I sense my mother attacking me every day. Every day. Every day. Because you're their source. You're their energy. And yeah, your mother will psychic vampire off of you. There is no such thing as psychic vampire per se, but rather people can psychic vampire off of you. So I don't, you know what I'm saying? So do it every day. And maybe you even need to write other people's name on the petition. Write all the enemies, the agents, hidden enemies, agents, witches, group of people that you've sent to stalk me. Put all of them on there and just light that up. But put her name first. The last time I had to do work on my parents, I had to put my mother's name first, a bunch of other people, and then my father's name because he's allowing it. So I have a problem with my father for allowing it. So even if your father is not doing anything, that's the problem. You ain't doing nothing. What are you doing about this? Well, you're my kid. I don't want you out there. I don't want no man touching you anyway. Okay, well then goodbye. This is sick. A 42-year-old woman with needs. You see what I'm saying? So then that is why they accuse you of these sexual perversions. Yeah, because that's what's on their mind, because that is what they want to do. Very sick people. I wouldn't talk to them. And I know they hate me for this right now. I know that the narc parents are watching this, and some people don't even know they a narc. If you get mad about what I'm talking about, then you are a narcissist. And they'll make things very awkward for you as often as possible. Hold on, guys. I'm texting you back. Hold on. Okay. Everything is going to be okay if you just connect with people that understand what you're going through and you stay away from the narc and their agents. And you'll be fine. Seriously. And then also do those reversals. If you guys need help with writing petitions, oh guys, I am offering classes to people. I would love to start doing more of my classes with people. So the way that I'm going to do it is that you just it'll be an hour once or twice a week, and I can teach you the techniques that I have learned. Now, when I removed that Gen Hex, I unblocked my money and I unlocked everything. Okay. So those are very good as well. When you unblock, and because they've put all kind of blockages in you because they had to program you so that you would be codependent on them forever. In fact, they didn't even want you to get any kind of food stamps or housing. They was mad about that. They like, why are you giving, why are you giving my child a place to live? Probably was calling down there saying, why can't you just kick her off the program because she needs to live with me? They're crazy. They're mentally ill. They're sick. Please understand that and stay away from them if you ever want happiness. Please. That's why so many unhappy people. You are slaves to these narcissistic people. Trust me when I tell you. And if they're showing and displaying signs, if you're seeing signs now, it's going to get worse, just like an abusive relationship. If you're in an abusive relationship and a person hits you for the first time, trust me, you're gonna end up with a black eye one day. You're gonna have a black eye, okay? And I don't know I was looking at, oh my goddess, I don't know what I would do if a man did that to me. Ugh. Yeah. My mom has been on food stamps so long her face was on the paper bill once. That's a good one. That's a good one. And they don't want you to break that chain or that cycle. How dare you think that you're going to have more than that? Look, I gave you the welfare system. I gave you to the welfare system. Yeah. And then especially if she never got herself together, if she never surpassed those income limits of that program, which most people never do, which most people can. But, when it comes to food stamps and stuff, I don't discuss that because there's a lot of people a lot of people that get those, you know what I'm saying? And so I don't want to be judgmental to those people because I know why, because they have shut off an area in your brain that is where your full potential is. They have shut that area off through years and years and years of programming. And even when they saw that the programming didn't work, they still tried to put the programming in you, in your head. Even when you knew you were confident, when you knew you could do it, when you did it, when you manifested it, they still try to say, oh, you didn't do that. No, you didn't. I'm showing it to you. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. No, you didn't. You didn't do that. If you won $1 million, they'd have you killed. Please do not win the lotto and tell your narc family about it. Trust me, you'll end up floating in the river. They don't care about you. And then the reason why they really don't care about you, they're mad at you because you took up for yourself. All you did was defended yourself. So they mad at you for defending yourself and fighting back. And then what do you expect me to do? And then other people will see you as and I have always been somebody that stuck up for myself. Even when I was a child, I stuck up for myself a lot. Now, when I was a small child, there was a lot of traumatizing things that happened to me, which I do believe involved violence. But I blocked it out because, there were times when I kind of remember, number one, I remember being smothered. I got over that. I went through that memory when I was about probably 5 or 6. I got smothered and I literally thought I was going to die. And then there was one time when all of the kids in the family, all of my cousins was roasting me, and of course, those things are going to happen because when you're not there or when you're sleeping or even right in front of your face, they sitting there talking about you. And literally you ain't really did nothing. I'm keeping it real. You have done nothing. Yeah, the whole family, just even when you were a child, you're ugly, you're disgusting, you're stupid, you stink, your hair is nappy, I hate you, I hope you die, why don't you kill yourself? Those are the kind of things that they've said to you. Those things you've held in your memory, and that's why you want to get away from them. Okay? So, I am sort of like the poster child for that, because, and trust me, I'm human. There's been, I just cried today. It's the waterworks. You let it out. When you need to cry, let it out because it's pain leaving your body. It's pain and that's the way we process pain is through crying. So let it all out, grieve, and just be positive. Okay. That's you transmuting that energy. And then everything will be okay, I promise. I had somebody telling me that earlier today that everything was going to be okay. And I believed it, but then again I didn't believe it. But then God showed me that I should believe it, or either I so it really is it's a hard thing to go through, but you'll get through it. You just have to hold on to people that are not like that, to people that would never in a million years do that to another human being, because you shouldn't. It's cruel, it's evil, and there have been many people that have committed suicide because of that. You see what I'm saying? So if you ever feel suicidal, then you should contact somebody and let them know. And don't ever feel embarrassed about telling me that you feel suicidal, because I've attempted suicide before. Years and years ago. Do I have to be ashamed of that? No. So you just have to love yourself. That's what loving yourself is about. And you don't need that mother's love, because to be honest with you, you never had it. If you did get it, you got it from who? You got it from the divine mother. You got it from the earth angels. You got it from the goddess. She loved you. And she's the reason why you're here. She's the person that told you, keep going. Don't cry. Well, if you cry, let it out. But don't give up. That's the one that's holding you down and sustaining you. And believe in that, because when you stop believing in that, that's why they want to discredit you. I mean, it don't matter if you're Christian, if you're pagan, a narc parent, they're gonna criticize whatever religious or spiritual beliefs that you have. They are. You could be a Christian, you could be a Catholic or Jehovah's Witness or whatever. They are going to criticize it no matter what. So if that particular religion gives you power, or gives you, it sustains you, and you're able to sustain your life force with it, then do it. But just don't do what they do. Please don't be judgmental of other people. Earlier I was thinking about this. I was really feeling very sad about it too, because I felt like witches and women do all the work and then the church takes credit for it. But when you think about it, most of the church is women surrounded by this one pastor who's a man. So, they like it that way. That's and I don't judge them, but they judge you. And they can't stop looking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But why can't we come together? Why stay to yourself though, Nova America? Why don't we just all, you know, help each other and be friends with each other? Because, your narc parent is going to tell you, you ain't got no friends. Don't nobody like you. Well, why? Oh, you ain't, you're just stupid. Well, what did I do that was stupid? Are you just stupid and dumb and nobody likes you? Everybody hates you. And it's like, are you possessed by a demon? Yeah, pretty much. Okay. So, you know, and people like me are always going to be there for you no matter how they attack, no matter what they do. I'm still going to be there for you or y'all. Oh, Lord, my candles just went out, and for some reason, I can't find my other. Oh, Lordy, Lord. So, I'm always here when you guys need me. Always. What is he doing? Playing in the water? Is he getting water everywhere? Okay. For some reason, Jacob has an obsession with the water. I've been trying to remove some bad spirits from him, y'all. So that's why y'all hear him being weird. He's being a weird weirdo right now. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta get him quiet. Hold on. Okay, y'all. Hold on, hold on. It takes a lot of unconditional love to get through this spiritual war. I'm sorry, guys. They're psychically attacking Jacob. He's catching some of that. So that's why he starts to act strange and stuff. He'll start to make strange noises because he's a medium, just like his mommy. And I am going to bind his spiritual gifts for a little while because it has to be done because he's just an open vessel, and sometimes Jacob will scream and say stop like somebody's hurting him and nobody's doing anything to him. He'll just say stop, stop. Nobody's doing anything to him. So you know that's a negative spirit that's attacking him. So you know. So anyway, guys, I'm always here for you. Cut the ties with them, cut the cord with them, even cut the cord. I think that your main thing is going to be reversals and cord cuttings and protection. The cord cutting is essential if you have a narc mother because that's how she's attaching to you, is through her uterus. And, sometimes even through their menstrual blood, they can, harness your energy and make contact with you just because, so doing the cord cuttings is important, and they will confuse you. They'll throw other people out there and make you think that it's them, but it's like, no, it's you, hon. Let them know. I know exactly what you're doing. You should let them know. You should let them know. Everybody always say move in silence. What does that even mean? What are they gonna say? No, I'm gonna recant everything you said. So you're gonna. So here's the thing. God gave us all free will. Isn't that wonderful? That's why we love God. Because God gave us free will. And there's nowhere in the Bible, nowhere in that Bible that they read. Hold on a second. He's got that toilet. Okay, sorry guys. Jacob is over here making all kind of monster noises, so it is what it is. So, do the core cuttings, do the cleanses, and do you guys' reversals. And if you're under spiritual attack by your crazy mama like I am, who has spiritual gifts, then you have to do it every day. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something. There have been many children that have done death magic on these types of people. Mm-hmm. They have. Um, do I agree with it? I think that if you have a narcissistic parent that is trying to ruin your life, or anybody that's trying to ruin your life, it's either going to be you or them, one or the other. So that's kind of pretty much what it boils down to, and you just have to be strong. They can't make somebody pull a trigger on you. They don't have that much power. If they do, boy, that's pretty diabolical. And I've seen it. I've seen it happen. I've seen parents lose their children, and they'll come out in social media and say, I forgive the killer because I didn't want that little bastard anyway. Basically, I would never forgive somebody for harming my child. Good Lord. And you know what? The dark mother don't do that either. Since when do the divine mama, the earth mother, Mother Earth, don't even do that? She'll give it to you if you hurt her children, especially Yim and Yah. Miss Yah will give it to you. Okay. They want to kill me themselves. Yeah, that's probably true. They do want to kill you, but they know it'll be too suspicious. I've talked a little too much for them to do anything to me. Otherwise, they probably would have. And I felt that if I would have stayed over there in Kansas, that I would have ended up dead. If they could kill you and get away with it, they would, which is why they're obsessed with purging and things like that. They probably watch the movie The Purge over and over again. They probably paste a picture of your face on it on their favorite purge. Oh yeah, they want you dead. Trust me. Very ruthless. It's okay though. They can't kill you with magic. Okay? They can't do that. Just don't even be afraid of anything like that. If somebody trying to make you afraid that somebody can kill you with magic, they can make you kill yourself. Now, I do know that I've seen certain spirits that can make a person not drink water. Okay? I've seen certain spirits that can make a person not eat. So spirits can manipulate you, and then you'll just kind of die. I've seen people die based upon that manipulation. And I've actually seen people that have been scared to death by spirits, which is why a lot of people are afraid to explore their witchy side. But as long as you have a good support system, you'll be okay. Because I remember being woke up, I was lucid dreaming. I got woke up by a spirit one time when I was living at the old house. And it said, do you want your youth and your beauty to annihilate you? I said, yeah. I didn't understand it. I was like, really? Yeah, it came to me, and that's exactly what it had said to me. I'll never forget it, man. That memory is going to be planted in my brain forever from that spirit that I came in contact with. Yeah, Good. I'm glad you're not afraid. Don't be afraid. Practice, do your work. Okay? Do your work. But make sure y'all do those reversals daily. Now, they mad at me for giving y'all that information. They mad as hell for me to tell you to do that every day. Because if you do it every day, guess what's going to happen? And if you keep that flame on there, guess what's going to happen? Because they're constantly sending it, sending it, sending it, sending it, sending it. Constantly. They're constantly doing it. Their whole thought process about you, their disposition towards you If you notice, children with very with very supportive parents, they go very far in life. And there's children that have unsupportive parents that go very far in life, but the statistics are dramatically lower. They're dramatically lower. I'll probably post an article that I had read that, you know, many children that, ended up where they ended up is because the parents led them there. With like, oh, you think you about to sit up here and have a family or a normal life? You're my sacrifice. Are you stupid? So I'm just telling y'all, and I've seen it. Hey, baby, be careful. I don't want you to cut yourself. Okay. So I'll see you guys later. I gotta go get ready for a reading. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and oh, don't forget about my Cashapp sale that I'm having on readings. Okay, $50 for 60 minutes. Okay, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. And I want all of you children of the narcs that are alone and depressed and feeling alone, that you are not alone. I hate to sound like Michael Jackson, but you are not alone. The Divine Mother is holding all of us in her arms, in her womb. Please believe that. We're being held, and, somebody out there loves you. I know I love you. I used to tell people that, like, growing up, like I was always searching for friends and acceptance and stuff, and I was just like, I love you. The first person that came along, I was just so ready for somebody, for anybody, to show me, just the slightest bit of love, and it's so sad, the desperation and the desperate situations that they create for us. Okay. So I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys. Love and light.